The story I'm going to tell you today takes place in Ratchaburi, a province in central Thailand, located 80 kilometers from the capital, Bangkok. This city is a popular tourist destination with many interesting places to visit, such as the Khao Bin Cave, which is about 200 meters high and features stunning stalactites inside. There are also other attractions like the Mae Klong Ancient Village and Khao Wang Mountain. On April 13th every year, the Songkran Festival is celebrated. This is Thailand's most extravagant traditional festival, lasting for 3 days. During the festival, people splash water on each other to wash away the troubles of the past year and start a new year with good fortune and purity. However, an incident occurred in Ratchaburi, Thailand, during the Songkran Festival in 2023. After a thorough investigation, a series of crimes were uncovered. These cases spanned up to 8 years, and the perpetrators' methods were truly vile, with at least 15 confirmed victims. The incident subsequently shocked the entire nation of Thailand. Next, let's rewind to April 14th, 2023, which was a Thursday during the Songkran Festival. In Thailand, there is a river in Ratchaburi called the Mae Klong, which is 132 kilometers long, originating from Kanchanaburi, passing through Ratchaburi, and reaching Samut Songkram. Along the Mae Klong River, there are many bustling markets, making it an ideal spot for people to enjoy themselves. On that day by the Mae Klong River, a woman suddenly fainted and collapsed for unknown reasons. Those nearby rushed to check on her condition when they saw her fall. Finding her unconscious, they quickly called emergency services. Shortly after, medical personnel arrived at the scene, but the woman had stopped breathing. They attempted to perform CPR on her but were unsuccessful, and she was pronounced dead. The initial cause of death was determined to be heart failure, possibly due to an acute heart condition. Upon receiving the report, the police quickly arrived at the scene. According to some witnesses, the woman was walking alone before suddenly collapsing. Based on the medical personnel's inference, the police initially considered it an accident. The deceased woman was identified as Siriporn Khanwong, 32 years old, a successful businesswoman with considerable wealth. Her parents were devastated by her sudden death and disagreed with the police's conclusion because Siriporn had always been in good health and had no history of heart disease. Suspiciously, some of her personal belongings were also missing, including 50,000 baht in cash, an LV handbag, an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and other valuables totaling over 140,000 baht. At her parents' insistence, the police conducted a deeper investigation. They first checked surveillance footage near the scene to see if any details had been overlooked and indeed made a crucial discovery. On that day, Siriporn was not alone. She was accompanied by another woman. When they approached the riverbank, Siriporn and this woman parted ways for unknown reasons. Siriporn walked toward the riverbank area with stairs leading down to the river, while her companion walked in the opposite direction across the street. After crossing the street, the companion kept glancing towards the riverbank, as if checking Siriporn's movements. Shortly after, Siriporn collapsed by the riverbank, and several bystanders rushed to help, while her companion stood there watching, seemingly expecting this to happen. Her reaction aroused suspicion. She did not rush to help her friend, but went back to her car to get some things before slowly walking to the riverbank. A while later, she left the scene, driving away as if she had no concern for the unconscious Siriporn. After being identified by Siriporn's family, the woman in the surveillance video was confirmed to be Siriporn's new friend, Sararat Rangsiwuthaporn. Sararat, who is 36 years old, is 4 years older than Siriporn. According to the investigation, Sararat's ex-husband is a police officer named Vitun Rangsiwuthaporn. After getting married, they lived together in a police apartment and had 2 children, living a very happy life. Sometime later, Vitun became the deputy police station chief, and the family moved to a better home. 3 years before the incident, they divorced. However, perhaps due to their responsibility towards their children, they occasionally met and maintained a close relationship. After watching the surveillance video, Siriporn's family believed that Sararat had plotted the murder and theft, using some means to kill Siriporn. With this lead, the police immediately approached Sararat to question her, asking if she had been with Siriporn that day. Surprisingly, she denied it on the spot. It wasn't until the police showed her the surveillance footage that she admitted to meeting Siriporn on the day of the incident. Sararat claimed that they had planned to visit a temple to pray for blessings and then go to the river to release animals back into the wild as a way to accumulate merit. When asked why she ignored Siriporn's collapse, she said she had urgent matters to attend to and thought Siriporn was just feeling unwell with plenty of people around to help, so she left. Although Sararat's explanation was unconvincing, there was no direct evidence of her attacking Siriporn or doing anything harmful in the surveillance video, so the police couldn't charge her and had to continue searching for more evidence. The case quickly attracted media attention and public interest. Some people speculated, based on the video, that Sararat was the murderer because a true friend would not ignore their friend's life or death situation. When questioned by the media, Sararat calmly stated, "I had nothing to do with Siriporn's death, and we had no disputes. The hypothesis that I killed her is completely baseless." However, while the police were investigating, an unexpected development occurred. Following the media exposure of Sararat as a suspect in Siriporn's murder, both the police and television stations received numerous reports from individuals. These reports revealed that several members of their families who knew Sararat had been diagnosed with heart conditions and had died suddenly, with varying degrees of property loss. Among the reporters was a woman referred to as A. She claimed to be a survivor of Sararat's poisoning. She said, "I had an appointment with Sararat to go shopping at a department store. She gave me a pill that she said treated COVID-19 and relieved coughs, along with a bottle of orange juice. Shortly after consuming them, I felt chest tightness and had difficulty breathing. I remained conscious and immediately called for an ambulance. Fortunately, I recovered after a period in the hospital." After the incident, Sararat gave her another box of capsules, claiming they were for weight loss, but she did not take them. Upon reporting this, A handed the box of capsules over to the police for examination. Forensic testing revealed that the capsules contained a highly toxic substance, cyanide. A added, "I knew Sararat because our husbands were classmates at the police academy, and she approached me on her own." With such crucial leads, the police realized that the case was far more complex than they had initially thought. It was not a coincidence that many similar cases could be connected to suspect Sararat. Given that these crimes had spanned over 8 years and were scattered across various regions of Thailand, suspicions grew stronger. The families of the victims only began to notice the pattern after seeing recent news reports, realizing something was amiss. At that time, the victims included both men and women. Among them, 2 female police officers and several family members of police officers, all sharing the common trait of being relatively well-off financially. 11 days after the incident involving Siriporn on April 25, 2023, Sararat was officially arrested by the police. At that time, she was over 4 months pregnant. When this news broke, everyone who knew Sararat was in disbelief because she was known to be very kind and friendly to everyone. No one could believe that she could be so cruel. The day after Sararat's arrest on April 26, 2023, the police searched her residence. They found several bottles containing liquid, a bag with many powder packets, and several empty medical capsules. A few days later, the police searched Sararat's mother's house and found 2 plastic bags full of white powder and several document bags. Upon opening the document bags, they found over a dozen documents marked with different names. The police sent the white powder for testing, and the results confirmed it was cyanide, a highly toxic substance that can cause human cells to lack oxygen and lead to heart disease. Symptoms of cyanide poisoning include dizziness, difficulty breathing, and vomiting. A dose of just 100 to 200 milliliter can cause a person to lose consciousness and die within 1 minute, or even just 10 seconds. This chemical is tightly regulated in Thailand, and illegal possession can result in a 2-year prison sentence. Despite strict controls, some individuals still risk engaging in illegal transactions. During the investigation into the buyers, the police unexpectedly found that a famous Thai model and actress named Siriporn Khanwong, known by her stage name Ice, was on the list of buyers. On May 5th, she appeared on a Channel 8 program and admitted to purchasing cyanide online. The actress tearfully confessed to her wrongdoing, asserting that she only bought one bottle of cyanide, not dozens as rumored. She claimed she hadn't even opened the package and was willing to cooperate with the police. She explained, "I intended to use it to repel snakes and pests that attacked my pets, and I had no intention of poisoning anyone." This revelation caused a public uproar for a long time. Some believed her explanation, while others did not. This was just another twist in the case. The police later searched several cars owned by suspect Sararat and found cyanide. They also found some cars belonging to the victims. Meanwhile, the forensic department released a new report. They discovered cyanide traces in Siriporn's blood and stomach. According to the forensic doctor, cyanide metabolizes very quickly in the human body, with 80% being metabolized within 24 hours. This is why the forensic doctors only found trace amounts after conducting more in-depth examinations. One of Sararat's victims was a man referred to as B, and a friend of his provided crucial clues to the police. B was Sararat's boyfriend when he was alive. On the afternoon of March 12, 2023, a month before Siriporn's case, Sararat suddenly called the police, claiming her boyfriend B had fainted. When emergency services arrived, B had already stopped breathing. She claimed to be B's girlfriend and was pregnant with his child, so neither B's family nor the police suspected her. However, B's friend felt something was off because the night after B's death, Sararat seemed cheerful and attended a friend's birthday party. Additionally, while sorting through B's belongings, the friend found a strange bottle labeled UN 1680. Investigation revealed this was highly toxic cyanide. The police began to suspect that those who mysteriously died were all poisoned by Sararat. Despite mounting personal and physical evidence, she still refused to admit to poisoning Siriporn and the other victims. Given the involvement in multiple cases, the police immediately formed a special task force to investigate similar old cases in Thailand. Some cases had long since passed, and the victims' bodies had been cremated, making it difficult to uncover the truth. Sararat was suspected of being involved in at least 9 murders. A few days later, the number of cases she was suspected of increased to 13, and this number continued to rise as the police investigated. All the victims had connections to Sararat, and currently, only one survivor remains. After a thorough investigation, the police were able to preliminarily uncover Sararat's fraudulent schemes. She initially approached her victims under the guise of being the wife of the deputy police chief. After befriending them, she meticulously investigated her targets and used different methods to deceive them based on each individual's financial situation. One of her methods was to create a group, inviting several people to join. Each member had to pay a membership fee at agreed intervals. This arrangement was not only legally dubious, but also carried high risks, as members could lose their money at any time. Sararat organized the group, which had 7 participants, 4 of whom died mysteriously. A woman who had been part of the group shared, "I was initially invited to join, but after failing to pay the second membership fee of over 10,000 baht, Sararat kicked me out. Luckily, that saved me from her schemes." In addition to this method, Sararat also established good relationships with her targets and waited for the opportunity to borrow money. Initially, she would borrow small amounts and repay them quickly with high interest. Gradually, as she gained their trust, the amounts she borrowed increased, and so did her sinister intentions. She even asked her targets to mortgage their cars. After receiving the money, she would kill them. One of the victims received 150,000 baht in cash through a car mortgage and died the same day, with the money disappearing after their death. Sararat also deceived the victims' families by forging documents and using them to swindle their assets. She would do anything and use any despicable means to make money. An insurance company employee revealed, "Sararat often came to me with questions about insurance, asking strange things like whether the insured could receive compensation within a week of their death, or if they would be compensated for dying of a heart attack." With the intention to kill, Sararat would take her targets out for dinner and give them capsules containing poison, claiming they were for weight loss or curing COVID-19. In reality, these capsules contained enough cyanide to be lethal. After administering the poison, she would observe the victims. If they showed strange symptoms, she would stay away and later try to take their mobile phones to destroy evidence. She was so brazen that she even poisoned police officers. 10 days before Siriporn's case, she poisoned a female police officer named Nifa Sayanchan. Surveillance footage showed Sararat and the female officer sitting on a roadside bench. Suddenly, the officer collapsed and fell to the ground, losing control. Instead of helping, Sararat got up and walked away. When Sararat was first interviewed by the media, she appeared calm and firmly stated that she had nothing to do with the victims' deaths. But after the truth came to light, those who knew the facts were horrified. People also questioned why she would go to such lengths to deceive and kill so many people. After investigating, the police discovered that Sararat had been addicted to online gambling for many years, accumulating significant debt. To pay off her debts and continue gambling, she started targeting those around her, committing crimes that spanned over 8 years. Sararat had a history of mental illness, making it plausible that she could commit such outrageous acts. Half a month after Sararat's arrest, her ex-husband, Vitun, was also detained by the police. They found suspicious burnt bottles in his backyard and various unlabeled medications in his house. Cyanide was also found in Vitun's car, though he claimed he was unaware of it. In addition to Sararat's ex-husband, other suspects were also implicated, such as Sararat's sister-in-law, who helped her send a package to Siriporn. Sararat often took her victims to a temple, and the police suspected that there might be accomplices there, but due to a lack of evidence, they couldn't prove it. A month after Sararat's arrest on May 3, 2023, the police unexpectedly announced a third suspect, a 35-year-old lawyer named Than Nai Nicha. The police had sufficient evidence to prove that she helped Sararat fabricate, cover up, and destroy evidence to escape legal punishment. Since Siriporn's case came to light, several journalists have followed the developments closely, with the public eagerly awaiting further updates. When Sararat was transported by the police, a large crowd of reporters and citizens gathered around the police car. Reporters placed microphones near Sararat, hoping she would answer some questions. However, wearing a pink dress, Sararat simply bowed her head and silently walked through the crowd and got into the police car. On June 30th, 2023, a month after arresting the third suspect, Deputy Director of the Royal Thai Police, Sararat Rangsiwuthaporn, along with several deputy police chiefs and local police chiefs, made a public statement about Sararat's case. He stated, "We now have enough evidence to reasonably conclude that Sararat is the murderer responsible for 15 cases over the past 8 years across 8 provinces in Thailand, with only 1 survivor. Additionally, other related cases are still under investigation, with some lacking sufficient evidence. We have collected about 25,000 documents and interviewed over 900 witnesses. This is one of the most severe and shocking murder cases in Thai history. All the victims had financial dealings with Sararat." The first case she committed was in July 2015, where she met the victim at the airport, and the victim died in their apartment the next day. Sararat then took the victim's money and used special methods to seize their assets, selling them for a profit of millions of baht. The second case occurred in August 2020, 5 years after the first. Sararat helped a friend mortgage a car, took the money, poisoned her friend, and then demanded that the victim's husband use the money to redeem the car. The gambling website Sararat frequented was also investigated by the police, revealing her gambling history over the years. Sararat had earned over 93 million baht, approximately 2.5 million USD, from her schemes. She had invested all her fraudulent earnings into gambling, with the highest daily profit reaching 10 million baht. Staff associated with the online gambling site were subsequently arrested. Besides Sararat, the second defendant was Vitun, and the third was Than Nai Nicha. All 3 faced prosecution together. During the prosecution's investigation, none of the 3 defendants admitted to their crimes. On July 18, 2023, Sararat was officially charged with 14 counts of premeditated murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and nearly 80 other charges. She set the highest record in Thai criminal history. In addition to the 3 defendants, the agents and websites involved in selling the illegal substance cyanide were also sued. Although Sararat committed a horrifying crime leading to a death sentence, she is currently pregnant. Under Thai law, if a pregnant woman confesses to all her crimes before the child is born, she will not be sentenced to death and has the right to care for the child until it is between 6 months to 1 year old. After that, Sararat would only face the highest possible sentence of life imprisonment in Thailand, with a maximum term of 50 years. If she demonstrates good behavior in prison, her sentence could be reduced, potentially serving up to 20 years. People are worried that they could become victims once Sararat is released. However, Sararat continues to firmly deny her guilt. Surprisingly, 2 months after her arrest, Sararat had a miscarriage. Her defense lawyer sought the intervention of forensic doctors, claiming that Sararat was 7 months pregnant at the time and that the fetus was relatively stable. There were suspicions that someone had deliberately caused the miscarriage. The official statement later indicated that the miscarriage was due to excessive psychological stress and that Sararat had a history of 2 previous miscarriages. Following the miscarriage, Sararat now faces the highest death penalty. This is something that the victims' families have been anticipating. Some believe that the child might not have wanted to be born into such an unfortunate family. The identity of the child's father remains unknown. A Thai television station reported that Sararat had asked 2 young men to help destroy evidence of her murders. When they refused, she threatened them with a very menacing tone. "If you don't do as I say, I will take revenge on you even if I go to prison." As of the time of the press coverage, no official verdict had been announced in the case. There is speculation that Sararat might face the death penalty. The public is eagerly awaiting the trial's outcome. Besides the numbers reported by the police, no one knows exactly how many people Sararat has harmed. This case highlights how the desire to reclaim what was lost can lead a gambler to corruption, as seen with Sararat. Gambling initially pursued for fun and later for money can eventually become a dangerous obsession, leading to severe consequences, as in Sararat's case. Be cautious of temptations and make wise decisions. This concludes today's video. See you in the next one.